allowed to go downstairs alone. The town I live in is nice enough. It's quiet, a little quaint. My dream has always been to move to the city when I get older. I want a life where things are busier, more exciting, more alive. Right now, I live at home with my parents and my twin sister. Both of my parents are underpaid teachers, so we live a modest life. We've never been spoiled, and we've always been told to work hard for every dollar. Having gratitude for everything we have has been instilled in us since childhood. My parents must have worked really hard to save money throughout the years because the house that I lived in as a teen was pretty darn huge. Our tiny little town in general is relatively prestigious. So I do my part to extract wisdom from my parents whenever possible because they clearly know how to win at life. But of all of the things that my parents ask of me and my sister, the one rule they are most stern about is if you're going downstairs after midnight, you have to bring someone with you. Ever since we moved into this house, they would remind us of that rule every chance that they got. They would randomly bring it up at the dinner table or right before we're off to school. Sometimes if they heard footsteps in the hallway at night, they would get out of bed and walk with us to wherever we were going in the house. The strange thing about it was that me and my sister never really had anywhere to go downstairs at night. Anyways, our rooms, the living room, kitchen, and everything else pretty much was upstairs. Downstairs just had a game room and some storage that we might need to pull out from time to time. But overall, I couldn't really think of a scenario where we would need to go downstairs at night. My sister and I would ask my parents about it sometimes. Why do we have this rule, and what happens if we break it? They would usually deflect, change the subject, or tell us, we'll tell you when you're older. As I got older and older, the fact that my whole family slept upstairs in a 2-story house became weirder and weirder to me. I was curious about what exactly was going on. So fresh off my 20th birthday, I decided to conjure up some kind of situation where I would absolutely have to go downstairs after 12 a.m. And this is where things start to get crazy. As soon as it turned 12 a.m., I yelled to my mom, "Mom, I left my laptop in the game room and I have a paper due tomorrow." Lame excuse, I know. She was skeptical and pushed back a little bit, but finally she caved. We made our way down the small staircase and headed for the door that led to downstairs. But before my mother opened it, she turned to me. She said, "Okay, he's likely gonna latch onto me." What? Make sure I don't open the door to the backyard and that I'm with you at all times, okay? You can pull me if you need to. I thought she was kidding. She opened the door. Our downstairs area has another small living room, a small kitchen, and a hallway that leads to the game area. I had accidentally left my laptop in the game area, so when we entered, I immediately turned toward the hallway. I thought my mom would follow me. Instead, I saw her just standing there. She was shivering and jittery. Her gaze was fixed on the window in the kitchen. It's a big window with the blinds usually pulled up, and it looks directly into our backyard. I looked at my mom confused, and she continued her uninterrupted stare. Slowly, she started walking towards the door to our backyard. I started to ask, "Mom, what are you?" And that's when I saw him. He was pressed against the window from the outside. His face was obscured by the darkness, but I could see his eyes. They were wide open, wider than eyes should go. My mom just continued to walk towards the door. I grabbed her as hard as I could and pulled her back, all the way back to the staircase that led upstairs. And then I closed the door behind us. But she kept staring at the door to the downstairs area and even walked slowly toward it and tried to go back down. When she finally pulled herself together, I'm like, "What was that? What was that?" And she goes, "Did you get your laptop, honey?" Did I get my laptop? Mom, what was outside the window? My mom's reaction was super weird. A mix of annoyance, concern, and fear. But she responded. Terrible things happen when we talk about them too much. But as long as we go downstairs in pairs, nothing too bad happens. No one's let him in yet. And that was that. I tried to ask her more, but she wasn't having it. At this point, she was just flat out ignoring me. I had no idea what to do. I wanted to tell my sister, who was generally super carefree. But part of me thought that would really freak the hell out of her. I tried to bug my dad about it, but he completely deflected. The most he ever said was, "We just wanted to give you and your sister a comfortable upbringing." What? What is that supposed to mean? It's been 2 years since me and my mom went downstairs together after midnight. Since then, we've continued to follow the rule, and so far we haven't run into any problems. I've tried to convince them into downsizing and moving somewhere else. They just say stuff like, "This isn't how that works, dear. And as long as we play it safe after midnight, we'll be okay." That brings me to why I'm saying this now. My parents have been gone for a week visiting family in another state. And my sister left this evening to have a sleepover with one of her friends. I'm home alone for the first time in forever. I don't usually have my phone on me, and it takes me like an hour or two at least to respond to text messages. Well, I just checked my phone and I have a text from my sister. Here's what it says. She sent this text message 2 hours ago. It's 10 minutes past midnight.